What's going on, everybody? It's Nick Payne with Facemask Fantasy, bringing you our Week 1 waiver claim suggestions. These are guys who are likely available. Maybe some of them aren't, but if they are available, names that you should consider spending high waiver claims on and or a good chunk of your FOB budget, or some potential cheap alternatives that should be available either with late waiver claims or after waiver is processed and you can grab them as free agent pickups. But let's get right to it. The top waiver claim in all formats for Week 1, regardless of your roster construction, is 49ers running back Elijah Mitchell. We've profiled him at length on our channel at this point. You can check out individual videos about him if you are so inclined. But here's the general gist. Raheem Mostert is now out for the season, and Jeff Wilson is still probably a minimum of 6 weeks away. Trey Sermon is coming off a Week 1 healthy scratch, but we don't expect that to continue. The Mostert injury obviously changes the entire dynamic of this backfield, so Sermon is safe to reinsert into lineups after last week's disappointing development. But this backfield never relies on just one player, and now a ton of work is available. Mitchell had an impressive showing Week 1 and figures to have earned a role in an offense that perfectly fits his skill set. We are saying go as high as 50% of your FOB budget. That's a viable way to go here, whether or not you need a running back. Don't spend everything. Don't spend your entire FOB budget. Sermon could still take the reins in this backfield, but Mitchell is an RB2 until he proves otherwise. If you don't use FOB, if you still just use straight waiver claims, if you have the top option, yes, Elijah Mitchell is absolutely worthy of that selection, whether or not you need a running back. Mitchell's the top ad this week. Go get him. Up next, my second priority for waivers this week is Giants wide receiver Sterling Shepard. He may or may not be available, but he's not a name who was drafted likely in a lot of shallow leagues. Shepard looked awesome on Sunday as one of the Giants' lone bright spots. 7 catches, 113 yards, and a score. And while we can't expect this line every week, especially if Kenny Golladay is healthy, Shepard will work underneath as the Giants' security blanket, which should lead to some good PPR weeks. Evan Ingram is not healthy to start the season, and Darius Slayton stinks. So it's going to be all Golladay and Shepard in this passing offense. It might be ugly some weeks if Daniel Jones isn't good or if the offensive line struggles, but Shepard is worth a look as a wide receiver 3 as soon as Week 2 against Washington. Yes, that's a short week. It's a Thursday night, so if you have clear, better options, fire them up, but Shepard's looking good moving forward. My third priority this week is Broncos receiver KJ Hamler, who should be widely available in season-long leagues and is a guy I'm sneakily very intrigued by. Hamler dropped a would-be 50-yard touchdown, so he missed out on a monster day Week 1. That might help him fly under the radar in waiver pickups this week, and the report today was that Hamler was running with the first-team offense in Jerry Jeudy's absence. Jeudy will miss 4 to 6 weeks with a high ankle sprain, so Hamler should be a cheap waiver ad that doesn't require a high priority or much FOB to acquire. Somewhere around $5 worth of FOB should get the job done, and then you have a high upside wide receiver 3 for the next month. I also like Tim Patrick. He's also viable here, but again, Hamler reportedly was the one running with the first team offense. So do with that what you will. Fourth waiver priority is James White. Again, another player who might not be available in your league, but he should be a pretty cheap ad if he is. White saw a lot of work on Sunday and is back in the conversation as a flex play in PPR leagues. Running back depth is always attractive no matter the time of year, and he could get even more involved if Ramondre Stevenson remains in the Patriots' doghouse after he fumbled against Miami. If you have the number 1 claim, I'd still lean Mitchell, maybe Shepard, maybe Hamler, but White should provide some nice depth to a team that could use an extra running back. My fifth waiver priority for this week is Eagles running back Kenneth Gainwell. Gainwell played in the 2-minute offense for the Eagles Week 1, and Boston Scott was nowhere to be found. Gainwell also scored, so yes, his output on limited touches was boosted there. Miles Sanders is still the starter here, and he handled 19 touches, so Gainwell is still a matchup-based RB3. But RB depth is RB depth. That alone makes him valuable. Gainwell will catch passes out of the backfield and should remain a threat to score if he's the first man up in the backfield when the Eagles are running a hurry-up offense, which that could happen a lot in the coming weeks. The Eagles play the Cowboys and the Chiefs weeks 3 and 4. Just throwing it out there. Some other names who are probably available that I like, they're a little bit further down the list, but definitely still names to keep an eye on, are Bryan Edwards, Juwan Johnson, and Jalen Reagor. With Edwards, it took him until the end of the game on Monday night to get involved, but he still ended up posting 4 catches for 81 yards. Opportunities in this Raiders offense are still wide open, so Edwards is absolutely worth a look. Juwan Johnson came through big time on limited opportunities. 2 scores on just 3 targets. But remember, the Saints thrashed the Packers, and they were left with a lot of shorter fields. So while we can't expect this level of efficiency again from Johnson, we can expect some increased volume in an offense that is razor thin in the pass-catching department. Johnson is viable, and at least on Yahoo leagues, he has wide receiver and tight end eligibility. Always enticing. Finally, there's Jalen Reagor. The former first-round pick had 6 targets against the Falcons and was able to turn 1 into a touchdown late in the game. Reagor remains entrenched as a starter for the Eagles, and Jalen Hurts looked awesome in Week 1. If the quarterback play is better for Philly this year, which that shouldn't be hard given how awful it was last year, Reagor's fortunes should easily turn around in his sophomore season. So, to recap, Elijah Mitchell is our top waiver claim for the week. I also like Sterling Shepard of the Giants. I think KJ Hamler is a sneaky ad of the Broncos. I like James White and Kenneth Gainwell as strong running back depth. And then moving a little bit further down the list, if you could use a wide receiver, Bryan Edwards, Juwan Johnson, and Jalen Reagor are all viable ads if any of these players are available. What do you guys think? Who are you guys targeting? Put your thoughts in the comment section below. Put your targets in the comment section below, and we can have a conversation about this. Till then, this is Nick Payne with Facemask Fantasy, producing fantasy content for you each and every day. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for listening.